Hello and welcome everyone in Automobile Pathshala. Today in this short video we would like to understand about the starting system circuit and how the starting system electric power actually flows and how the wiring harnesses works. So we will like to discuss about the circuit over here. So before going to elaborate the whole circuit and its functionality, we would like to introduce you with the components of the starting system circuit diagram here. So we can see that for power supply we have one lead acid battery 12 volts. It's here, and we can see this is the ignition switch, which will allow power to flow the entire automotive circuit, including in the starter motor, uh, and then on there's a starter relay. You can see there will be skip this one because it's not available in every vehicle, uh, and also we can see the power consuming devices like solenoid switches and starter motor over here, which the starter motor is connected with the flywheel. You can see from the diagram. So we have seen all the components here of this starting system circuit. Now let us understand the circuit diagram and from where to where the power is going and the overall uh, uh, wiring diagram terminology. So as you can see that the battery has its negative ground, which will be for sure with the vehicle body and chassis there for getting the proper ground, and the positive, which we indicate as the power flow. The positive wiring have parallelly there is a parallel connection where one connection directly goes to the starter motor, uh, from solenoid to starter motor, and the other connection, that's mean the other branch of this connection that goes directly with the ignition switch. There you can see that they're different terminal. You can see that, but we are not adding this terminal here in this circuit because it's not included in the starting system. So only the terminal that we will be focused on this one. So the ignition switch, when the ignition switch will be turned on, then this open circuit will be closed, and the power will directly flow to the starter relay. And from the starter relay, the uh, the wiring goes to directly to the solenoid switch. And then for starter motor, there is another individual ground here, which will also be connected with the vehicle body, the proper grounding. Now, this is the question, that's how it works, how the starter motor works actually. So when you turn on this ignition switch, power will go through this connection and these connections also. But there is a question: why we need a parallel connection for the starter motor? Because our main objective is to uh, operate this starter motor, which uh, which could be directly connected to this battery, and we can operate with the help of this ignition switch only. But why we need two connections? Okay, so first of all, the starter motor will consume high current. It will draw high current, like from 15 ampere uh, to 45 ampere, and uh, it depends on which vehicle you're using and which type of vehicle, and type of engine is there, its required torque, and other mechanical features. So as it will draw a high amount of current, so the current cannot pass through the ignition switch because it's quite dangerous. It can burn the whole ignition switch because the ignition switch does not hold enough sustainability or to sustain this high amount of current. So that's why we have a different connection which directly connect the positive uh, the positive terminal of the battery with the solenoid one. So now, what is the role of this branch that connect with the starter motor? Now, we are using a starter relay to control keeping safety to operate this starter motor. Now, how does it work actually? So when uh, we are turning on this ignition switch, we are also allowing current to start a relay. So inside of a relay, we can see a coil here, which will induce electromagnetism, and for that reason, the magnetic circuit will get closed. And for that reason, this starter relay will allow current to solenoid. And what will happen? The solenoid will get power from battery, and then if the solenoid is turned on, then the solenoid will also turn on another circuit which connected to the solenoid with the starter motor, and thus the starter motor uh, can get power and turned on. Now, uh, what if we emit the starter relay? Then what will happen? If we emit starter relay, it will draw high amount of current to ignition switch through ignition switch. That will lead to severe accident or damage to ignition switch. So that's all for today. I hope you understand how the starting system circuit work and its functionality. Hope you guys like the video. Uh, please share the video and keep us supported.